What's going on, YouTube? This is the Iconoclast 3, 2, 1, and today I'm bringing back my deck series. Today I'm challenging myself to use count 'em, 3 copies of Hero Strike to make the best hero deck on YouTube right now. Will I triumph? Let's find out and get right into the deck profile. So kicking things off here, we are going to start with 3 copies of our main monster in this deck. This is Shadow Mist. There. Now, this is going to be your special summon off of mainly a hero lives, but for that special summon and the half life points pay, you are going to get a lot of good effect off this. First off, you're going to be able to add any change quick play spell from your deck directly to your hand. Plus, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add another hero monster from your deck to your hand as well. So it actually floats into another monster, which is always good card to manage. Next up, we have 3 copies of our next elemental hero. This is Neos Alias. Now you're probably asking yourself, why wouldn't you play Neos by himself instead of Alias? Well, the simple answer is this. Alias does not take 2 sacrifices to summon. He's a Gemini monster, which doesn't really help, but is still good for certain reasons. And he's also a light monster, meaning he's a great target for both Honest and Koga in the deck. Next up, we have 3 copies of Elemental Hero Avion. Now, this is the best we can do with 2 monsters in the extra deck that rely on wind monsters. So this is the best we're going to do. He is 1,000 points, so sometimes he can come in clutch for that last hit of the game. But otherwise than that, he's a great target for fusions and mass change summons as well. We're also going to go into 3 copies of Summoner Monk. Now, it's very easy. You sorry about that. You can discard 1 spell card and get an additional summon to the field as well. This is great, again, especially if you have Mass Change or Mass Change 2 in your hand at the time. Finally, we're going to go into 2 copies of Honest, and then 1 copy of Neospacian Grand Mole as your monsters. Grand Mole is very specific, it just bounces both itself and whatever monster is attacking back to the hands, and then Honest is a great target for both Koga and even your Alias on field as well. And now, let's get into the spells and traps. So going into the spells, first off we're going to have 3 copies of Mass Change. This is going to be your main Mass Change in the deck, and you're going to see why. This simply says target 1 hero monster you control, send to the graveyard. Also after this, if it left the field by this effect, special summon 1 mass hero monster from your extra deck with the same attribute. This is going to be your main special summoning condition of the deck. This is going to have you summon great monsters, such as Koga off of Alias. You're going to have your Dark Claw off of your Shadow Mist. You're going to have Divine Wind and also Tornado off of summoning it with Avion. So all in all, it's just a great spell to have in the deck. Next up, we have Mass Change number 2. If it's not broke, don't fix it, folks, but we're adding some new bonuses to this card. It simply says discard 1 card, then target 1 face-up monster you control that has a level, send to the graveyard, and if it left the field by this effect, you can special summon 1 extra deck mass hero with the same attribute, but a higher level. Again, basically the same effect, but with a discard, so you can add stuff to your graveyard. And also, it doesn't have to be a hero monster, it can literally just be any monster on the field. Right here, we're going to go into 3 copies of Mask Charge. This is going to get your Mass Change back, along with any hero monster you have in the graveyard. So if you want to get 2 or even 3 Dark Laws on the field, or 2 or 3 Kogas, or Divine Tornado, or anything like that, this is probably going to be your best bet towards that. We also have 3 emergency calls in here. Simply put, this gets you get out any hero in your deck at all. As I just showed you guys, you have about 9 heroes in there, so this should work pretty efficiently. Up next, we have 3 copies of A Hero Lives. Pay half your life points and special summon 1 level 4 or lower elemental hero monster directly from your deck. It is a hefty cost, yes, but at that cost, you're going to get Shadow Mist special effect off it. You're also going to get Avion, and you're also going to get Alias. So you're going to go right into your mass hero plays sooner than later, and that's always a bonus. Next up, we have 3 polymerizations. Now, I did make an error earlier in the video, apologies about that, but Great Tornado is not, in fact, a masked hero. Instead, he is a fusion hero. He is fusion summoned with 1 elemental hero monster and 1 wind monster. And so is our big boss of the deck, which is Contrast Hero Chaos, which you have to fuse 2 mass heroes for. And since there aren't a lot of options for fusing in this deck besides those guys, this is going to be our best bet to that. Next up, we're going to play one copy of each: Miracle Fusion, Oversoul, and Reinforcement of the Army. Reinforcement of the Army is an additional emergency call, so you get to pick one level 4 or lower warrior monster added to your deck. Oversoul is to get the avian out of our graveyard. Use him to special summon another Great Tornado, not Great Tornado, but Divine Wind, but have him on the field as well. And then Miracle Fusion can either get you your Contrast Hero Chaos or your Great Tornado onto the field a lot quicker. Finally, finishing out our main deck with 4 traps. This is Battle Guard Howling, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Bottomless Trap Hole, and we can't forget about Call of the Haunted. So, Call of the Haunted is our monster born in the deck. It's going to get us any Mass Heroes, Contrast Heroes, or Elemental Heroes back from our graveyard onto the field. Compulsory Evacuation Device is our easy get-out-of-jail-free card, getting rid of any kind of problematic monsters our opponent may have that don't have any kind of protection to it. And Bottomless Trap Hole is very nice, as any monster with 1500 or more attack that is special summoned, or any kind of summon for that matter, is automatically banished, which is very good for us. Finally, we go into Battle Guard Howling. This is basically for your warrior type monsters, which, if you haven't guessed it, is the main monster we have in our deck here. And basically, it allows you to target one monster your opponent controls that's face up, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack, and then it bounces it back to the hand. So overall, I think that's a very nice effect to have, especially playing heroes like this. Finally, we are now going into our extra deck. This is a very tight extra deck since the starter deck only comes with 5 cards a pop, so we're maxing out at 15. So, first off, we are playing 3 copies of our good friend Great Tornado, and if I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's very good artwork on this card. He is fusion summoned by fusing 1 elemental hero monster and 1 wind monster. Obviously, you have multiples of those in the deck, so not too hard to do. If this card is fusion summoned, you can have the attack and defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls, and obviously that is very good because anything that doesn't have less than 2700 or more as half of its original attack is getting knocked over by this card. Next up, we get into our Masked Heroes. And staying on the wind element, we have 3 copies of Masked Hero Divine Wind. Now, this is a very special hero because, for one thing, he cannot be destroyed by battle. Another thing is your opponent cannot attack, or can only attack with 1 monster during each of their battle phase, so he's a 1-card Dino Wrestler World or a 1-card Dark Door. Also, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends to the graveyard, you get an additional draw. So again, he replenishes your hand. He basically limits your opponent to 1 attack per turn, and also cannot be destroyed by battle. So all in all, very nice. Next up, we're going to go into 3 copies of Masked Hero Koga. This is our light variant, so he's going to be what we're going to be using Alias for. And he has the following effect. This card gains 500 attack for each monster your opponent controls. So, simple math, your opponent has a whole full build board of 6 monsters, and he gains 500, therefore he will go to 5,500 attack, or 5,500 attack, more specifically. You can banish 1 hero monster from your graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. That target loses attack equally attacking the original banished monster. So, simply enough, let's use an example from the deck. So, let's say we decide to banish our Avian. So, Avian has 1000 attack. So if the monster we focus on has only 1000 attack, it will drop automatically right down to 0. Sweet, simple, and straight to the point. I love it. Next up, we're going to go to our second boss monster of the deck, which is our buddy Masked Hero Darklaw. And if you guys played Yu-Gi-Oh! Long enough, you know how much of a menace this card can really be. So, simply put, any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead. Once per turn, if your opponent adds a card from their deck, except during the draw phase, you can banish 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Awesome. It's basically a walking macrocosmos with legs. It's 2400 attack, and if you can use that effect, constantly, then your opponent will lose absolutely everything they have in their hand. Finally, we have Elemental or Contrast Hero, Chaos. Simply put, he requires 2 mass heroes to be fusion summoned, so he needs Polymerization or Miracle Fusion to be used. He acts as both dark and light monster while on the field as well. And also, once per turn, during either player's turn, you can target one face-up card in the field and negate that target's effect until the end of the turn. It's a walking negate. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely lovely card. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys love my deck list? Do you absolutely hate it? Let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. This has been Iconoclast 321, signing off. Peace.